Okay, hi there folks, this is 𝗪𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀 and I've got another little review video for you, and for this video I'm focusing on the roofing industry. Okay, so roofing contractors is that group of people that I'm having a look at today. And I've got the good, the bad and the ugly. Yeah, I've got 4 websites to show you. And this first one, I think we'll call this the ugly. Okay, so this is Dave's Roofing. He's in, looks like Queensland, southeast Queensland, maybe the Gold Coast, something like that. But this is his home page. How not to greet people when they first land on your site. This is how not to do it. Okay, first impressions do count. Obviously there has to be some substance behind the aesthetics, but golly, if you go to someone's website and this is what you see, not a good look. Maybe there are some photos there and they're just not loading properly on my browser, but if I'm having the problem, I reckon there'll be some other people having the problem as well. Even if there are some photos there, the website does not impress. It doesn't. Let's have a look. So we've only got 3 tabs here. There's no education, there's no value building, there's no honing in on people's pain points and help showing them how to get some relief. There's none of that. But there are some photos. Let's have a look at this. And there we go. We've got categories. Hey, this is a shocker. And no, I do not want this guy as my client. I wouldn't want that in a pink fit. So that's the ugly. That's a good example of how not to do it. It's one of the worst ones that you'll ever see. Let's have a look at another one. And this is a good site. I have spoken to John Spinner, who is behind this site. It's not a pretty site, but it is effective. It's effective for 2 reasons. Number one, he's optimized it fully for SEO, which means that he is ranking very, very well for his keywords. He's in the slate roofing game, okay, in Melbourne, Australia. So he has done all of this optimization work himself. Is it recommended that you do it yourself? Probably not, but the minimum thing that you should do is become familiar with some of the strategies, so that if you do employ an SEO guy or company, you can keep up with them. You can have an intelligent conversation with them. The last thing you want is to be kind of kept in the dark, because there's some idiots out there that are doing SEO work, and the best way to counter that is with knowledge. Now, just on that point, I've recently completed a report, and it's quite an in-depth report, and it includes a significant section on SEO, but I've written it in a user-friendly way, and you can get hold of that report. There should be a link somewhere under this video or on my 𝗪𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀com website. But you can get hold of that report. The other topic that is covered with that report is to do with authority positioning. How to position yourself as the go-to company in your industry. Both really good topics and all wrapped up in the one report. So, as I say, this is a pretty good website. For starters, he's got a kind of a call to action. He's got an inquiry form on the right, top right. Okay, let's get people into action. That's what we want to do. We want them to make an inquiry, but if they're not ready to make an inquiry, we have to give them some good information. So we have to educate them about all the good stuff that we do. So with this guy, he does a number of things in the slate roof arena there: repairs, restoration, and full replacement. Okay, So there's plenty of information there. You just click on read more and you'll be taken through to a page that tells you more. But notice what he's got here. He's targeted some of the smaller keyword phrases, and he's done that by including the keywords in the text here, which in turn link through to another page, and that's about broken roof slates, damaged and broken slate roofs. This is all done for the SEO, for the search engines on one hand, but also it's very good information for the consumer, and consumers love this stuff. Discerning consumers, they want information. They're not just going to look at pretty pictures, as a rule. So he's got information here. The only thing that he doesn't have is like a separate tab up here for a blog, because this is all blog content. You don't have to necessarily call it a blog. You could call it news. You could call it hot stories or something like that, and then have a tab up here and people will click on that. Oftentimes they'll click on it before they click on much else. So, but the point of the matter is that he's done a lot of work on a lot of SEO work, search engine optimization work, by creating separate pages for all of the little keyword phrases that people will type on in his niche. In your niche may be different. You may not be doing slate roofs, but you can bet that there will be at least half a dozen, maybe a dozen or more keyword phrases that people search for. Highly qualified people who really know what they're looking for. They're just looking for the right company to deal with. So to get your site to the point where it's showing up in the search engines, you need to have lots of content relating to these keywords. Now over here we've got a reviews tab. So he's got testimonials, but once again he's identified the long tail keywords but relating to his niche. So Melbourne slate roofing repairs. But he doesn't just include the keywords as text in this little item here. He has them linking through to a separate page. Now he's put in a lot of work here for sure, and it may not be the sort of thing that you want to do yourself, but you see, if you understand these basic concepts about SEO, then when you do work with an SEO, or you're looking to work with an SEO, you can talk to them coming from a position of strength. And quite frankly, if they're not prepared to do some of this stuff, don't give them the contract. Don't engage them. Don't do business with them. Because you need to have pages for each of the important keywords. And we're talking about industry relevant keywords and location relevant keywords. Because that's what Google looks for. They look for industry relevance and location relevance. Are you who you say you are? That's what they want to know. Are you really located in South Melbourne or wherever? And are you really in the slate roofing business or metal roofing business or whatever it happens to be? And the more effectively you can do this, the better it will be from the search engine point of view, but also from the consumer point of view. So you're educating people, and education is part of conversion. It's part of conversion. You're obviously, let's say you do the optimization work, you will get more traffic, you'll get more visitors to your website. But that's only one part of the story. The other part is to convert them into leads and then convert them into sales. But we need the leads, don't we? We need the inquiries. We need them to fill out this form or something similar. So we've got to give them good information, as much as they need. If they want it all, fine. If they only want a portion of it, fine. That's for them to decide, not for you to decide. It's better to go overboard with the information than to have a pretty site with a dozen pretty pictures on it, a few headlines, cliches, and hope for the best. No, that is not the way to do it. Okay, so that's number 2 site. Let's look at number 3. This is another well-sorted site. I think most people would say it's prettier than the previous one. And what I want to show you is the news. This is their blog. They call it the news page. And so they've got a bunch of blog posts here. The blog is one of the best ways of making Google happy. You can get ranked for all sorts of long-tail keywords that your audience searches on if you've got a blog that's updated regularly. So you can have pages on all of the different little subtopics and topics relating to your industry. So this one is about 𝗪𝗲𝗪𝗶𝗶𝗪𝗔, which is an additional service that this company obviously offers. Now there's not much text here, but there's enough to get by with. Good photographs. That will help them by having this little article in here, this little blog post. That will help them with their rankings. So somebody's looking for 𝗪𝗲𝗪𝗶𝗪𝗔, they're typing in 𝗪𝗲𝗪𝗪𝗔 and bang, up comes this blog post. Let's have a look at another one. Old to new charcoal tiled roof. The owner decided it was time to give their roof a facelift and a new colour. The colour charcoal has improved the street appeal and given the home a modern look. Okay, so we've got some good photos, before and after photographs, with some explanatory text. Another blog post. Let's have a look at reviews. Okay, these are like testimonials. Now, what I would do is I would take it one step further. Firstly, I would give each review a headline, a powerful headline. Because people are attracted to the headline more than they're attracted to a paragraph or more of text. The headline, we use the headline to entice people to read the text. But if they're confronted with a bunch of text without any headline, they're far less likely to read the text, you see. So it's a kind of a seduction process. I would also, if possible, include a photograph of the customer. And if you've got a good relationship with customers, they'll be happy to do it. In fact, they'll be flattered that you ask. This one here, Anne. Okay, well, we don't have a photograph of Anne. We've just got a graphic, an avatar or whatever. A photograph would be much better. Another thing that I do for clients is that I'll take a raw, bare bones testimonial and I'll convert it into a customer story. Okay, so I will quote key elements of the customer's testimonial, but only as part of a greater story. So I might open, obviously I'll have a decent headline to start it with, but I might open with an introductory paragraph or two, so set the scene, show people what the problem was, how we solved it, and then I'd include the customer's testimonial. And then I would finish it off with some completing text, and included at the bottom would be a call to action. Make a quote today. Or if you're offering a free report, which is a more advanced strategy, because this is another point. A lot of people that visit your website are not yet ready to do business. They're just in looking mode. And they're probably going to look at a number of different websites. The smart operators offer some sort of a free report, like a consumer guide to picking the right roofing contractor. It might only be a 3-page report. It could be quite modest. And they use that as a hook or as an ethical bribe to induce people to give them their email address. So they give you their email address. In return, they get this wonderful free little consumer guide. I've written these sort of guides myself for clients in the past, and they do work very well. Now you've got someone's email address, so all you need to do is then link them up to an autoresponder service, have maybe a series of half a dozen or 10 pre-written emails, educational type emails, non-hypey, non-pitchy type emails, so that as soon as they opt into your list that you've now just started, they'll receive the first of those welcoming emails, welcoming and educating type emails. And then the next day they'll get another one. Or maybe the day after. You could space it out every 2 days, every 3 days, every day, whatever. In 3 weeks' time, or in a month's time, or heck, maybe even in 2 months' time, maybe they're not going to do it in winter, but they're going to do it in spring. Okay? Maybe in 2 or 3 months' time, they're thinking, now, where did I put those notes when I was looking at those different websites? Oh, gee, I've lost those notes, whatever. But if they've been receiving an email from you, and you're the only one who'd been smart enough to offer a free report so that you can cultivate them in the interim, who's going to get the business? You're going to get phone calls out of the blue 2 months later from people. So only a percentage of people are ready to do business now. That's the point. And I think you probably agree with that. Okay, so lots of education here. They've got an About Us page. An About Us page, I wrote quite a significant blog post. I got a lot of comments on the blog, unsolicited comments on the blog about it. How to structure an About page. Because for many websites, the About page is the second most visited page on a website. People want to know about you and your team, etc. So here, I'm not sure about the black background, but the fact of the matter is they're doing a pretty good job of educating people about their points of difference. See, they've got up one here, this is nice. Our director Carl's $50 guarantee. If there's anything you're not quite happy with, give Carl a call on his direct number. See how the phone number is included there, he's not hiding. He'll take the call, listen to your feedback and make sure it's put right as soon as possible to thank you for your valuable feedback. After all, your feedback is the most valuable information we get. Carl will personally give you $50 out of his own pocket for your input. Now that's a brilliant initiative. And I bet he's paid out a few of those $50, but certainly no way did it break the bank. In fact, the goodwill and the extra business that he would have received as a result of having this little item in here would more than offset the few $50 sums that he has to pay out. They educate about the home style process, all good simple stuff. No salesman, that's another point of difference. Company been in business for 30 years, fine, that's a point of difference for them. But of course, if your business has only been going for a year or two, don't worry. There will be other points of difference that you can highlight, that you can even create. You can create a value proposition even if you don't have one now. And then once you're clear on it, then you need to educate about it. And then finally, by the way, this is not a full-blown review. A full-blown review would take an hour or more. This is just a brief introduction to the topic of value-adding messaging. How to send the right messages to people by educating them about your value. If you're not clear on the value, okay, you need to go through a strategic thinking exercise to determine very clearly what your unique selling proposition is. But that's another story for another day. And here's another one. I know this guy. I've had some good discussions with him, and he is going to be doing some work on his blog. On his website. It may include a blog as well. I mean, it's quite a good, clean looking site there, but he's not getting the traffic he would like from the search engines because his site hasn't been properly optimized for the search engines, like it has been with the other two good examples I've shown you on this video. So, and he's only got 3 pages. There's just not enough content here to satisfy the search engines. They want lots of content with all of the different little keywords that people are going to search on. All of the different location-specific keywords, like the suburbs you operate in. So you'd insert those keywords into the text. You'd even have maybe a page dedicated to the areas here's this guy's in Perth, South Perth, the areas in South Perth that you service. The search engines can then pick that up and help you get ranked for it. But of course, as I said before, we're not just looking for traffic, we're looking for conversions into leads. So once we get an increase in traffic, well, we want people to take action by making inquiry. Now, this particular little site doesn't have an inquiry form. It's just got this is the old-fashioned way of doing it. You just have one separate contact us page. But that's not the way we do it now. The way we do it now is that we have an opt-in form, or we have a quote form on each page, an inquiry form on each page. Now, he's got a testimonial page. Let's have a quick look at that. This guy does a good job. So I know he does a good job for his customers because he's told me some of the good things that he does for customers, and he's got some good testimonials here. But what really needs to happen is to bring those testimonials to life, to give them a lot more impact. So, as I said before, if it was me, I'd be adding a headline. If possible, I'd be adding a photograph of the person, and I would probably select 2 or 3, or maybe even 4 of the best testimonials, and creating testimonial stories, like a mini case history. So I'd feature the testimonial, but I'd top and tail it with some of my own copy that would build a bit of a narrative, a bit of a case history, which identifies the problem that the person was having with their roof and how Superior Roofing solved it. So I believe that will be coming. That's what the indication he's given to me. He wants to make some changes because he's not happy with it, and that's great. I mean, it's great that someone is aware of a problem and they want to do something about it. The people I worry about are those people who are clueless, right? They say that, oh, my website never works, I never get any traffic, I never get any business from it, but all they do is whinge about it, but they don't have any plan in place to make a difference, to improve things. Okay, so that's it. Pick up my free report. The link will be somewhere. We're just organising that side of it at the moment. The report has been finished. It's been converted into a PDF. It's about 30 pages, and it covers authority positioning, so you can position yourself as the go-to business in your niche or your industry. That's the first part of the report, and the second part of the report is kind of a layman's review of the SEO strategies that need to be used to get free traffic from the search engines. And even if you never do any of that SEO work yourself, it's good to have that background knowledge so that when you are working with an SEO company, you can kind of keep them honest, right? Because you've got that little report to talk to them about. All right, I hope you got some value out of that. I'm sure you did. This is 𝗪𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. Bye for now.